Welcome, dear friends, to this moment. Different from any other moment. It may look similar, but this breath is a new start, a new beginning into an alternative to the fear-based energy that is part of life. I see it in squirrels. I see it in us. I see it in so much easier to see in other people than in myself, and it's here too. And in this moment, I can soothe it. I can look at how amazingly complicated I am. And as complicated as I am, all other human beings, at least in the world, are as much so. We don't have to understand every single one. We can just let that not knowing be part of love, acceptance, be part of this moment and healing our own difficulties in the past, our own wanting to know and understand every little nuance of every little 6 billion people in the world. It's so much easier to accept for me that we're all doing something to meet our needs, even though it appears to be tragic strategies, or you could say ways of navigating the world that impact each other in ways that knot up my stomach when I think about it. And I don't have to take it all in. And it is helpful for me to notice that humans are amazing. Absolutely amazing. And not to underestimate each other, not to put each other in boxes. As tempting as it is to look at something, I mean, we can apply this to anything. As tempting as it is to wrap it up into a tight package, it's not. It's not alive when we do that. There's so many things that we miss when we do that, and we're going to do that. I suggest, if possible, to notice when we do it and say, oh, there's my need for ease and simplicity, and have everything like, yes, those people are stupid, we are smart. Those people are aggressive and we are peaceful. And those people are fearful and we're courageous. Right? I mean, it's like, give me a break. Those people are just as complicated as me. I want to understand. I want to navigate this world in a way that makes sense. And the only way that it really makes sense is to start with what we can control. You know the punchline here. God, I hate that. We have so much violence in our language. Let me reframe that. And do you know what the opening up into our complexity is? It's about us. It's about, can we find peace with all the different parts of ourselves that are inside having a war, this part of us that's strategy is very similar to some of the politicians, very fear-based, very much like let's just hole up in this corner and pretend like the rest of the world doesn't exist, or just use our economic power to crush people that aren't contributing to our wealth in some ways, right? And I'm using sort of broad swaths here to describe that coming back to our breaths, coming back to this moment, regulating our nervous system, breathing in, breathing out, is powerful. The forces that be tries to make it so that we don't realize that we're not in contact with that. Our emotions give us a lot of energy about a lot of information about our needs and where our power is. How we can really bring our values into the world without it being about other people being different. Looking at our shared humanity within the complexity. And wanting that for ourselves, wanting that awareness, that compassion and consideration for all these different parts of ourselves that are screaming in fear or screaming in entitlement, you know, bringing them into gratitude for all that they're trying to do for us. Bringing them into, I get it, and in this moment you're safe. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently than when you were installed into my personality. Because I imagine that all of these critical parts, the parts of us that are triggered when we hear politicians speak in a way that is not consistent with our values, in a way that doesn't contribute to a world, all of us caring for each other, trying to get along together. How can we do that? We can do that by coming back to this breath, to looking at how amazing humans are, how complex they are, and not flattening them. Because when we do, we flatten ourselves. We don't give ourselves credit for all of the complexity within us. We're doing a disservice to ourselves by flattening other human beings into they're this way or that way. It's tempting. It's part of what our species does, including me. And we can take another breath and look at our loved ones, our past loved ones, and say, you are very complicated. And loving you is hard sometimes. And accepting you is part of accepting myself. Looking at the other people that we see in the world, bringing more of what we want in the world, practicing with our neutral people in just extending out this amazing quality we have, humans, for compassion, our amazing capacity for love and care. How big, how big, any of you who have kids know how big your heart can get. And how I know in my mother's case in particular, how it closed her down. Touching a heart that big and vulnerable just didn't work. And I don't have to pass on that gift, right? I say gift because it was meant to be a way of protecting me. I can open my heart. I don't have to look at other humans as flat like the world. They're round, just like the earth, just like ourselves. And living my values, letting others know my capacity for dealing with them or not, saying, I don't need you in my world anymore, is a way of loving ourselves. Looking at their complicatedness is just not meshing with ours sometimes. And that's the same with neutral people. It's the same with people that trigger us. If we keep on re-stimulating old traumas by being around people that just get our jackals whipped up, it may not be contributing to our healing. I don't use that word lightly. Re-stimulating over and over again old pains. And I so am longing that all beings in the world benefit from the practice of seeing each other as amazingly complicated, giving more space for freedom for all beings to be who they need to be in this world and to heal, hopefully using strategies that don't impact my right to live my life as I see fit. Thank you so much. I adore you all.